Hey YouTube, Hickory Stick back with you again. I know it's been a while since I made a video. I've had a lot of things going on, one of which was my camera bit the dust, but that is actually not the point of the video. What I want to show you all today is my new sonar setup on the front of the boat and how I've got it mounted on the front of the boat. I did something a little different, actually a lot different from most people, and I think you may find it interesting. So let's check it out. I have upgraded my sonar units big time on my boat, on the front of the boat. I upgraded them big time because I didn't have any before, as anybody that's watched my videos has seen. And I went with Humminbirds. I went back with Humminbirds. I've went with Helix 8 G4Ns. I got a really good deal on them. I bought them off of a guy used. Well, actually they weren't used. They were new in box, but he had bought them and went a different route. So I got them new in box for a considerably better price than I would have buying them new. I went with 8s for a specific reason. You know, everybody wants a 9, everybody wants a 10, 11, 12, 15. I would love to have one of the larger screens, but you know what? The cost goes up astronomically. Helix 8s are the smallest units that Humminbird makes that will work. And this is Helix 8 G4s. I think the G3s also, but for sure G4s are the smallest units Humminbird makes that will work with both Mega 360 and Mega Live. And I'm eventually going to be upgrading to that, and that's why I chose Helix 8s. Got them mounted up here by my trolling motor, and I have the side imaging transducer mounted on here. As you can see, this is not a contemporary mounting system that I've got here. I've made all this stuff removable, and I did that for a reason. You see, this boat is a universal boat. My family and I don't just use this boat for bass fishing. However, it is my bass boat that I use, although it is, you know, people would argue that it's not really a bass boat, it's a glorified flat boat, which it really is. But it is my bass boat. But I don't just use this boat for bass fishing. We use this boat to hunt out of. We deer hunt, and one of the locations we deer hunt is only accessible by water. So I needed a system on the front of this boat that I could take everything off of it and just leave a flat, nice flat bow so that we can enter and exit and drag deer in and out and load everything up in this boat. Everything's quick detach. It'll pop right off, and I'll have a clean, slick front on the boat. No, it's not quite as solid as other mounts, such as the balls out mounts, or I can't remember the other, on Water Innovations maybe. Anyway, the solid mounts. No, it is not quite as solid as those. No, I would not drag it 70 miles an hour down the interstate with my 2 sonar units on the front of the boat bouncing around. No, I would not run through 4-foot seas with the 2 sonar units on the front of the boat bouncing around. It's not going to stand up to that. So if you need something that solid, this mounting system is not for you. However, if you need a mounting system that is mobile and that is quick removable and doesn't have to be ultra solid, this may work for you. I do have the side imaging transducer, as you can see. Now, I did not mount this to the trolling motor. And one of the things about a side imaging transducer, if you mount it to your trolling motor, every time your trolling motor moves, that's going to move your image and skew your image, which you can work with. You know, you can work with that. But the problem is, I have a GPS controlled trolling motor, so my trolling motor moves a lot, and it'll be constantly throwing the image off. So I mounted my transducer not on the trolling motor. I mounted it on the front of the boat, so that the transducer's image only moves when the boat moves and the direction the boat goes. It gives me a lot clearer image. It gives me a lot less skewed image. Everything that I've got here and everything that I have mounted this with is made by Yakattack. That's right, Yakattack the kayak accessory company. I like Yakattack stuff. I have no affiliation with Yakattack, but I like Yakattack's products. They're made in the US. They have a lifetime warranty. They are affordable, very affordable for what they are, and they are really good quality stuff. I had to piddle some of this together. I had to figure out how I was going to do it, but I did get it all together, and I got it all working. The only thing that I can safely say that I'm not 100% happy with is the cords. And the reason being is you've got so much cable with your transducers, and there's no way to shorten it. I wish that Humminbird would offer some transducer cables that were, you could order a transducer with shorter cables on it, but they don't. But I just kind of had to wrap them up and stow them the best I could. So what this system is basically a Yakattack boomstick camera pole. And now this is a factory Humminbird mount, and I just got 2 stainless U-bolts to clamp it to this boomstick pole. This is an aluminum pole. This is a Yakattack parking pole mount for their parking pole shallow water anchor. That's what this is. This is nothing more than one of their articulating mounts, and this base is one of their Mighty Mount bases. That's all this is. This just pops in and out real simply. I will run down the road with this because this is real solid, so I will run down the road and run through the water with this on the front of the boat. I have no concerns with this coming off while I'm going down the road. Up here in the front, what we've got is I've got Mighty Mount track systems. This is a 10-inch Mighty Mount track here. I've got a 12-inch Mighty Mount track here, and I've got another 10-inch Mighty Mount track here. These are their Mighty Mount universal sonar mounts. Now, I could have went with Humminbird specific mounts because they do make Humminbird specific mounts, but my local store, I bought all this at my local store, and they were out of stock on the Humminbird specific ones, and I was going on a vacation. I didn't want to order and wait because I would not have gotten the mounts in time, so I bought the universals. No big deal, just had to drill pilot holes in the universal mounts. And then my power cord just goes into this mount. This is a kayak power port mount. I just tied it in behind the dash. And this is my new Minn Kota trolling motor mount, or trolling motor power supply cord. These are networking units, so I have them networked together. But this system works pretty simple. To put the transducer in the water, you just roll up where you want to go. You flip the latch loose on there. You pop the transducer out. It's hard to do this with one hand. You swing it down. You latch it into place. Now it's down in the water. Now, I'm just a point of knowledge. I could shorten this pole. The water line really is about at the bottom of these, the wire. And I may shorten the pole in the future. But for now, this length is working good. It's putting my transducer a little further down in the water. I mounted this just like this for a particular reason. Number one, so it's easy to detach it, get it out of the water. But also because this stuff is all plastic. So if I run into something with my transducer, all this is going to break before the transducer gets snagged and tore off or broke or something like that. So I'm in the water, I want to go somewhere, I just pop it loose, I pop it out, swing it up, put it in place, lock it in place, and in the amount of time it takes to pull the trolling motor out of the water, I can have the transducer and all out of the water and ready to go. I do have a Minn Kota quick detach plate on my trolling motor. I think I've talked about that before. But this is what we look like from here. So all my cables and everything are tied to the transducer pole. Everything's connected with the quick detach cable trays for the sonar units. When I get ready to leave the water, I have 2 options. If I'm not taking the transducer off, all I got to do, pop the cables loose from the bottom of the units, flip them down, Pick the units up. Now the units are off the front of the boat. If I need to use the front of the boat and I want to get everything off, all I got to do is unscrew my little bases and pop them off. Same thing over here. I just take my bases loose and pop them off. And I can also take my transducer loose and take it with me if I go inside or something like that. Then when I get to my fishing spot, I grab my units, set them on, lock them in place. Hook up the cables. And in less than a minute, I'm ready to fish. Grab this thing, pop it out, swing it down, put it in place, lock it. This is what it looks like off the front of the boat. Like I said, I can move it up. The water line's at about the bottom of the wire. I may move it up some eventually, but right now it's working great for me. Having no issues with this system. I've been running it for about 2 months now. I've had no issues with it. I love it. To do all this mounting system, all these components together, I think were around $380 for everything that you see to do this mount setup. It is a little less expensive than the comparable solid mounts, and this is all removable and works great for me. If you're looking for a good system and you want a system that is removable, you want to be able to take your sonar units off the front of your boat, then this will work great for you. You just got to be a little careful in rough water or beating around down roads. But otherwise, this works great. I like the system. It's worked really well for me. Y'all let me know what y'all think. If you like the content you see, subscribe. Got a lot more coming. And as always, until next time, this is Hickory Stick. Y'all have a good one.